Hello viewers, welcome to the episode on sea routes as a major means of water transport. Oceans have played a significant role in promoting tourist and cargo transportation. Oceanic transport offers much safety and there are much limited constraints as compared to the land transport. For easy understanding of the subject, this episode is divided into 5 parts, namely history of sea transport, benefits of oceanic transportation from passenger liners to luxury cruise ships, important sea routes in the world, important sea routes and seaports of India. Let us know about the history of sea transport. Sea transport is one of the oldest modes of transportation in the world. The first boats were made from hollowed logs, rafts and skins which are traced back to 7000 BC. During Roman times, a fundamental distinction was made between long ships used for military purposes and round ships for trade. Egyptians said to be the pioneers of the pleasure travel by waterways and that extended to the sea routes in a short span which can be traced back to 3500 BC. The East China Sea route also has a history of over 3000 years. During the progress of Persian kingdom, the Roman Empire and the Han Empire in China, the whole Mediterranean coastal regions became a well established travel and trade routes utilizing highly organized market and trade networks. Some port cities became extremely powerful. Many kingdoms occupied many ports to control the international travel and trade which takes place through these ports. This led to the advancement in luxury travel in ancient world, facilitated the exchange of ideas, the spread of religions, and there were also some negative impacts such as piracy, spread of diseases from one country to another. Around 1000 AD, the great ocean voyage of the Vikings used clinker built boats which had the lengths up to 30 meters gave way to the beginning of modern ocean travel for the purpose of knowledge and pleasure. But during this period, tourist travel across the Mediterranean and later across Indian Ocean was determined by weather and the will and wish of the merchant ships. Tourists who went by sea were dependent on merchant shipping without proper cabin facilities and with constant risk about the pirate attacks. However, shipping changed forever with the invention of the first steam driven ship with wooden hull and paddles in 1807. During the 19th century, iron and steel ships gradually took over from wooden ships initially built using riveted steel but then with the welded steel hulls still in use today. The beginning of travel, tourism and exploration were confined to a relatively small geographical area, but after the invention of ships and ocean going vessels, today human beings know no barriers. Because of the floatability and reduced friction, ocean vessels are capable of carrying far greater loads and far greater weights, and also ocean transport is usually the cheapest of all forms of transport. Benefits of oceanic transportation. Except for fog and floating ice and occasionally stormy weather which may hinder progress, ocean going vessels have fewer physical obstacles. However, technological advances in shipbuilding and navigation led to the opening of new sea lines. Although ships have freedom of movement and are capable of going virtually anywhere on the ocean surface, they tend to keep to certain lanes. They do so because of physical conditions and economic considerations. Clearly, ships will go only where there are goods or people to be carried, and the most important shipping routes are those linking the most productive and most populous regions. Certain physical conditions also help to determine the routes followed by ships. For example, the availability of harbors and ports on coasts, weather conditions such as fog and storm occurrence, icebergs, submarine banks and shallow waters also determines the ship's sea routes. Though the number of passenger ships have reduced drastically since the invention of airplanes, today ocean travel has become a matter of relaxing and getting away from the urban day life and visiting various land masses which cannot be accessed through other means of transport. Another example is the substantial numbers of travelers in the Middle East do still go by sea across the Mediterranean using scheduled ferry services, which is the only place in the world where coastal shipping services are still predominant. From passenger liners to luxury cruise ships, the concept of sea travel has come to light since 1900s. The unsinkable ship of that time, Titanic, was the iconic example of travel on sea routes, though there were many other ocean liners which also had attracted pleasure travelers. After the horrific accident of the Titanic, major concerns were developed on the safety issues of the long haul ocean travel. Since the passenger ships suffered the major setbacks after the beginning of the air transportation, cruise ships have taken the place of scheduled ship travels. The experiences of cruise ship travel has been heavily promoted and the cruise ship builders have been updating the technologies to improvise the ships to meet the international qualities. As a result, cruise ships are like floating resort hotels that ply the waters of the international sea routes. Cruises can be divided into three categories depending on the duration of the trips they make. For 1 week or less, the cruises are said to be the short cruises. Intermediate length departures last approximately 2 to 4 weeks, and long haul cruises are the round the world variety covering 4 to 12 weeks period. Of the three categories, short cruises are gaining more popularity as they require less vacation time and are less expensive. Almost all categories of cruises have theatres, government dining, aqua sports activities, casino, shopping areas and many other themes and activities. Apart from individual passengers boarding cruises, the cruises are also promoting group intensive travels. Cruise travel by group has increased, as have shipboard conventions and meetings. Important sea routes in the world. Almost 2/3 of the earth is covered with water and oceans cover nearly 70% of the total of the water bodies. Though oceans cover most of the earth and there are lesser or no obstacles for the movement of both passenger and cargo ships moving from one part to another, from one continent to another. But as we discussed earlier, sea routes are chosen which provide links to the land and ports in economic way. The important sea routes around the world are discussed below. Number 1, the North Atlantic Ocean route. Number 2, the Suez Canal or the Mediterranean Asiatic route. Number 3, the Cape of Good Hope route. Number 4, the Panama Canal route. Number 5, the South Atlantic route. Number 6, the Trans-Pacific route. Number 1, the North Atlantic Ocean route. The North Atlantic Ocean route has the greatest traffic of all ocean routes. Nearly 1/4 of the total sea travel and tonnage of the world's merchant vessels serves this route. In volume and variety of cargo, this route far exceeds any other. This route connects the ports of Western Europe with those on the east coast of North America. These two regions are the most populous and highly developed regions in the world. Passengers from North America and Western Europe and various types of cargo travel through this canal. Ports on the western coast of Europe, eastern coast of USA and Canada are connected through this route. Suez Canal or Mediterranean Asiatic route. This route is second to the North Atlantic in respect of the traffic. It commands the markets of Eastern Africa, Iran, Arabia, India, the Far East, Australia and New Zealand. In fact, the route passes through the heart of the world and touches more lands and serves more people than any other route. Throughout its many ports, it reaches about 3/4 of the total population of the globe. More than 12,000 passengers and cargo vessels in total pass through Suez Canal every year. The Cape of Good Hope route. The Cape of Good Hope route was once the subsidiary alternative to Suez Canal route, but because of its long and circuitous journey was awarded by most of the shipping companies. During the closure of Suez Canal in 1967, all the ships had no choice but to take this route. Even after Suez Canal reopened in 1975, much trade continues to follow this route because tankers and other vehicles nowadays are much larger, as the Suez Canal can only accommodate ships of lesser sizes than the average capacity ships and toll charges are high. The Cape route is growing in importance. Panama Canal route. The Panama Canal connects the Atlantic and the Pacific Oceans by means of two bays, an artificial lake, a natural lake. Constructed in the beginning of 20th century, Panama Canal is the gateway to the Pacific region. Travel and trade has been benefited on both Atlantic and Pacific seaboard, but the greatest benefits have accrued to traffic between the east and west coasts of USA. The Panama route has also greatly facilitated travel and trade in the West Indian Islands and the Pacific states of North, Central and South America, especially the Andean states, which are rich in mineral resources and have good markets in North America. The distance saved from Auckland to New York via Panama instead of Cape Horn is more than 4,000 kilometers. The South Atlantic route. This route leads to West Indies, Brazil and Argentina. The chief ports of call on the route are Kingston, Jamaica, Havana, Veracruz, Tampico, Bahia, Rio de Janeiro, Santos, Montevideo, Buenos Aires and Rosario. This route is famous for sighting of a number of pleasure cruise ships. The Trans-Pacific route. There are several routes in North Pacific which converge at Honolulu for refueling and servicing. The direct route further north is a great circle which links Vancouver and Yokohama without the need of going to Hawaiian Island, which reduces the travelling distance by half with a total sea travel of 7,200 kilometers through Pacific region. Some important sea routes and ports of India. India has one of the longest coastlines with approximately 7,500 kilometers, and there are 9 coastal Indian states which have important seaports. They are Gujarat, Maharashtra, Goa, Karnataka, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, Odisha and West Bengal. This long coastline of India forms one of the biggest piece of land into a body of water. There are 13 major Indian seaports which are handling a large volume of passenger transport and cargo traffic. Out of these 13 major seaports, 12 are government operated and one port, Ennore of Chennai, is the corporate port which is located at Coromandel coast of Tamil Nadu state. The most popular seaports of India are: number 1, Kandla port. The state of Gujarat has the major seaport of west coast. The Kandla port is situated on the Gulf of Kutch near Gandhidham city in Kutch district of Gujarat. The port of Kandla is the first special economic zone in India as well as in Asia. Kandla port is hub for major imports like petroleum chemicals and iron also exports of grains, salt and textiles. Port of Kandla is one of the highest earning ports of India. Another port in Gujarat is Mundra Port, India's largest private port. This port has moderate movement of passenger traffic. Number 2, Jawaharlal Nehru Port. Earlier known as Navsena Port, Jawaharlal Nehru Port is the largest container port in India, situated at the mainland of Konkan area across Navi Mumbai, Maharashtra. Jawaharlal Nehru Port is the king port of Arabian Sea at west coast and handle a large volume of international container traffic and domestic cargo traffic. The port also witnesses a large number of domestic passenger traffic who embark their journey towards the southwestern states and Gujarat towards the northwest. Mumbai Port. The Mumbai Port is located in the mainland of West Mumbai on the west coast of India with natural deep water harbour. Mumbai Port is the largest port in India and handles bulk cargo traffic with its 4 jetties for handling liquid chemicals, crude and petroleum products. Marmagua Port. Marmagua Port is the main port of Goa. Marmagua Port is one of the best natural harbours of India located in South Goa. Marmagua Port is one of the leading passenger traffic and the major iron ores exporter port in India. The port of Marmagua is also one of the major attractions of Goa along with the beautiful city of Vasco da Gama and international airport Dabolim. The natural harbour of Goa is one of India's earliest modern ports. Number 5, Panambur Seaport, Karnataka. Panambur Port, now known as the New Mangalore Port, is a seaport located near to Surathkal railway station in Dakshin Kannada district of Karnataka. New Mangalore Port is a deep water, all-weather port and the only major port of Karnataka and one of the largest port in India. Port of Mangalore exports major commodities like manganese, granite stones, coffee and cashew, and main imports includes timber, logs, LPG, petroleum products and cargo containers. There is a beautiful beach at south of the seaport of Panambur along with the shore of the Arabian Sea. Sixth one, Cochin Port. The Cochin Port is located in Cochin, Kerala and is one of the largest port in India and also a major port on the Arabian Sea and Indian Ocean sea route. The port of Cochin lies on 2 islands of Wellington and Vallarpadam and has the largest container transshipment facility in India. Kochi city is famous for its traditional spices and well known as the port city of Fort Kochi during the European colonials. It also gets its individual Kochi International Airport, third international airport in the state of Kerala. Number 7, Port Blair. Port Blair is the capital city of Andaman and Nicobar Islands, a union territory of India located at the juncture of the Bay of Bengal and Andaman Sea. Port Blair is the youngest seaport in India and one of the 12 major ports of the country. The only port of Andaman Islands are connected to mainland of India through flight and ship. Port Blair is the principal hub for shipping in the islands of Andaman and the one of the most popular tourist destinations with several places of interest around like virgin beaches, scuba diving and water sports. Number 8, Tuticorin Port. Located in the state of Tamil Nadu, Tuticorin Port is another artificial deep sea harbour and also one of the 12 major ports of India. It is also the second largest port in Tamil Nadu and one of the largest container terminal in India. The artificial port of Tuticorin is an all-weather port and who receive a large volume of international traffic. Port of Tuticorin are used to be best port for maritime trade and pearl fishery on the Bay of Bengal. Number 9, Chennai Port. Chennai port is one of the oldest port of India and the second largest port in the country. Chennai port also the largest port in the Bay of Bengal and a hub port for cars, big containers and cargo traffic in the east coast of India. The Chennai port also serves passenger ships which embark to the islands of Andaman and Nicobar. Number 10. Vizag Port. The port city of Visakhapatnam is located on the southeast coast of India in the state of Andhra Pradesh. Visakhapatnam or Vizag has one of the India's largest seaport and the oldest shipyard of country. This port facilitates the passenger transport and cargo transport vessels which move towards the Bay of Bengal and travel towards Southeast Asian countries too. Number 11. Paradip Port. Paradip Port is an artificial deep water port located on the east coast of the state of Orissa. This port is the major port in the east coast shore and situated at the confluence of great river Mahanadi and the Bay of Bengal. Paradip Port has its own railway system, coal handling plant and a national highway connects the port with the rest of Indian road networks. Number 12. Haldia Port. Located along the coastline of the state of West Bengal, Haldia Port or Kolkata Port is a major seaport, is an important port in eastern India. This is one of the major trade center for Kolkata and receives good number of passenger traffic and bulk cargoes. To sum up, water transport has a long history which can trace it back to 7000 BC. Romans, Egyptians, Chinese and Vikings were the early sea travelers of the ancient and medieval times. The advantage of sea transport is that there are very less obstacles as compared to other means of transport. The concept of sea travel gained importance in early 1900s and the concept of cruise travel gained popularity during the last decades of 20th century. Cruise travels are classified into short haul, intermediate haul and long haul cruises. There are many major sea routes connecting the continents with each other with passenger and cargo ships, namely North Atlantic Ocean Sea Route, the Suez Canal, the Cape of Good Hope Canal, the Panama Canal, South Atlantic Route and Trans-Pacific Route. India has 12 important ports spread across 9 coastal states in India. They are Kandla Port, Jawaharlal Nehru Port, Mumbai Port, Marmagova Port, Panambur Port, Cochin Port, Port Blair, Tuticorin Port, Chennai Port, Vizag Port, Paradip Port, Haldia Port serve the passenger and cargo vessels.